All right, well, Peggy is getting set up. Let me I'll just do a brief intro. So this is Peggy Callahan, the graduation analyst from the graduate school. She just started, she was what? March?
Started in April.
In April this year, taking over for Jennifer Beach. And yeah, I mean, she is basically the last person who will see your dissertation before it is approved.
Yeah.
So with that, I will turn it over to Peggy. Thank you for being here.
As he said, I started in April with the graduate school, but I've been with universities for 8 years. I was on the undergrad side. I was with the Cummins Wilson School, and I advised students. And so I know a lot about the university, not just the graduate school. But I'm also just getting into all this too. And so I'm hoping that we'll have some changes that we go along within the next year or so, maybe about some of the paperwork and stuff. But my job is to make sure that you have everything you need to graduate. And so I review the courses and your credits, your transfer credits, the forms, answer any of your random questions. I'm here to help do whatever. Right, like he said, if you're writing a dissertation or a thesis, I am the last person who will see it. And I will approve it, and then it goes on to Proquest, sends it on to the university, so that's how it gets submitted. I'm also responsible for the commencement program, and so your name, how it's listed in the program, and your dissertation title, where you do all your previous degrees, all of that stuff goes through me, and I work with commencement. I will be at graduation also to help you and make sure you get up on the stage correctly with and you get hooded, and then afterwards, the way we did it this past time, and who knows what's happening in graduation going forward. This last graduation in August, we had diplomas for all the doc students there to pick up after the ceremony. And so we'll probably continue to do it that way. Graduation in December, they still don't know where it's going to be, whether it's going to be the Liberty Bowl or the FedEx Forum. So, like I said, and I'm here to help whatever. If you have a random question about something else, that's fine. It's also fine. So I've been around long enough. I kind of know what's going on. So before you walk across the stage, start getting things in order now. Don't wait until a month before. And so, because you're going to need to know what your deadlines are. If you've applied, you need to apply for graduation, so please do that on time. Before the pandemic, if you missed the deadline for graduation, we charged you $500 to be late. So with the pandemic, we've canceled that out. And whether it's going to start up again or not, I don't know, but you don't want to be caught off guard and have to pay an extra $500. Transfer credits. If you have transfer credits, get those done now. Don't wait until a month before graduation, just because it bogs things down and you don't want mistakes to happen. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. Non-traditional credit. Transfer credits, you went to another university and you have some credits that you want to send over. You're going to be talking to your program first. And there is a form, of course. There's a form for everything. You'll have a transfer credit form. I also need your the transcripts so that I can compare those. Then they go onto your transcript so you can see them. And so those are transfer credits. Credit by exam, same kind of thing. You're taking an exam for a class that you took at another institution or someplace else, and then you're dealing with your program. You're taking that. Transfer credits are $60 for a course, so it's really much cheaper. So if you could do that, that's great. It's also helpful, like for old credits. If something is too old, maybe you can take a credit by exam so you can count that course. Credit by validation, I don't do as much of that, but it's you're also passing an exam. Experiential learning credit, if you have done something or you have a license, then those can transfer in as credits. So you ran a company and you can say that you've done something and prove that, then maybe you can get some credits. So those are things to think about, especially when you're first starting out. Get those credits in order, and if you have questions about it, let me know. But like I said, there's always a form for everything. This is a little bit more about transfer credit, which I don't know that I could talk that much about, but Also, for some master's programs, if you had finished a master's program someplace else, some programs for your doc will let you transfer in 30 credits. And so I can work with you on that too. They don't have to be specific. They can be more, they're more elective credits, but we can do that also. It depends on the department. Here's a copy of the transfer credit evaluation. So some of them are DocuSigns, but I need this form completely filled out and approved by your department so that I can do that. There's two different forms, one for the master's program and one is for the doc program. And it's about credit by exam and credit by evaluation. You're paying for the credits before you take the test, and then it goes through the process and it's approved by your program. And it's $60 for the fee. So you do need to remember that the maximum amount of combined hours for credit by exam, credit by transfer credit, credit by validation, experiential learning credit needs to be fulfilled by the degree requirement. It's 2/3 of the number of hours required for the degree. Credit by exam, you can't have more than 9 credits, 9 hours. Same thing with experiential learning. And so you need to make sure that you have those credits all figured out also. Deadlines, there's always deadlines. So right now we're in the December one. So the deadline to apply for graduation was the 2nd of September. The last day to submit the candidacy form was the 2nd. The last day to upload defendant and certification will be the 1st of November, and the last day for the departments to submit comprehensive exams, and that's mostly for master's students, is the 12th of November, and the last day for the final PDF of the dissertation thesis is the 3rd of December. I am fairly flexible on some of this stuff, so not the application. I like that. I mean, if you could do that, that's great. But if you're going to defend a little bit late, don't stress too much, please. Call me and say, these are my dates. Could we work on this? Because really, I don't certify graduations for at least 2 to 3 weeks after you walked across the stage. So we do have a little bit of time. And so, but what I want is communication. Please communicate with me. Let me know what's going on in your life. The last thing I want to do is to hold up your graduation. There's no reason for that. We can work things out. So please just communicate with me and we can go. Yes.
Well, I think the comprehensive exam, so I have a comprehensive exam in my department for my doctoral. So I'm taking it next semester, so the deadline is July the 6th, 2020.
Yes. And I should have had another slide. This is all kind of new to me. Comprehensive exam for doc students is usually done much earlier. And so now if you're going to do your dissertation for several semesters, then you can become a late doc student, and then you can also apply for the 1 credit. So you only have to take 1 credit each semester instead of full, and you're considered full time. So as soon as you do get that comprehensive exam done, send it to me, and then I can change you from an early to a late, and then we can also do the form for the 1 credit. Make sense? Questions? So because you will all have a comprehensive exam, and so as soon as that's done, send it to me, and we can get that process going. Okay. These deadlines are all found on the website, so don't think that you have to write anything down because you can always look it up. Applying for graduation, you're going to review the graduation information. Then you log, and it's fairly easy. It's all on the website. You're going to log into your My Memphis, go to the student pages to My Degree, and then the commencement and graduation information is on the right. You just follow it exactly, and it's fairly easy. Now, the candidacy form is a DocuSign form, and so you're gonna fill that out, which includes all of the classes that you've taken that go towards your doc program. Or if you're getting a master's, then all the master's classes. If you're taking a class that, while you're filling out the form, that you're taking it as we speak, then it's an IP, it's an in progress. It's, for me, it's like a budget. So you are planning to do all of this, and in the end, you have to have done all this, and I'm comparing your transcript and your candidacy form to make sure that they look the same. And so, like I said, it's like a budget to show me what you're supposed to have taken, and then I compare it to what you've actually taken. So after you've filled out and submitted your candidacy forms, everybody signs it. I review it, like I said, I'm going to compare it to your transcripts, and then to double check to see if everything has gone on and I've approved your graduation. You're just going to look at your student pages. If you look at my degree, it says graduation status, and it'll say congratulations, you've been approved. So even though you're approved, though, grades don't come out until after graduation, and so that's really the final approval. This kind of is more on the certificates. If anybody is planning to, or is doing a certificate, you've done your doc, or you're doing your doc, maybe you've done a master's and you want to get a certificate also, those are now going towards UM degree. And so you'll be following that on UM degree. Hopefully starting next semester, I'm not going to require candidacy forms for certificates. And so you'll follow that on UM degree. That's UM degree is something that the undergrads use, and it's very visual. And it shows you exactly where you are. So this person is getting a graduate certificate. These are the classes that this person has to take. And then once all these classes have been taken, it's going to show a 98% up here or 100%, and it's going to show the credits right there. And so it's very visual. We probably will never go to UM degree for doc students because your programs are so individually put together. Hopefully master's students at some point will also go to UM degree, which would be great for me. So this person is ready to graduate because it says 98%. Another comment about graduate certificates, it's like another degree. And so if you don't have that on your degree program or on your plan, then you can't apply for graduation for a certificate because it's not in your plan. It's easy, it's an easy fix. We just do another form and we can get that added. So a certificate is just an extra little thing to put on your resume. So if it works for you, great. It's kind of a lot of students seem to be doing it. So run into it all the time. Questions about this? Okay, there's also on the website a dissertation guide. Let me see. Oops.
Oh, you have to exit out of the presentation mode to actually see it.
So escape.
Let's see here. I had the same problem. So I go to here, and slideshow. Yeah. And now just give it a second to reset.
And I'm not going to find what I want.
I'm not sure why it's looking huge. Oh, sorry. No,
No.
I'm guessing.
There, that's where I want it.
Yeah.
Okay. When I'm reading your dissertation, I'm not reading it word for word. I expect that whoever has already read it and approved it has read it word for word, and what you've said is right. I'm looking at formatting. And so this, on the website, you just search for thesis and dissertation prep guide, it shows you everything. It shows you the deadlines, talks about plagiarism, and I mean, it goes through step by step. And so this is where you're going to, the formatting guidelines are right here. So it's going to talk about the font size and the font type, the margins. It'll give you spacing. I mean, it goes just piece by piece, and tells you about pagination and numbering systems. So you don't have a page number on your title page. Things that are listed in the table of contents. So these are the things that I look at. And so you've submitted it to Proquest. I'm going to look at the formatting and how it's laid out, and then I will send you changes that you have put a date on your dissertation that's the wrong date. The date you want on your dissertation is your graduation month and year. And so a lot of those are just little things that I tell you what's wrong with it, I send it back and you fix it. But the more you have looked at this and have it all right, then you won't have to worry about most of that stuff. It's fairly easy. Your abstract, your table of contents, the things that I see most are title pages having the wrong date and the wrong formatting, and also table of contents. So those are the two big ones. Typically, the rest of this reference pages. So as long as you've read all this and you're following the formats, then you should be fine. You want to make sure that your headers are fine and your footnotes. But like I said, I'm really looking at the formatting of your dissertation and not word for word. Now, if some glaring error pops out and you misspelled a word or something, I will let you know that too. But I'm not going to be reading these for page by page. And like I said, you can look at this on your own. It's on our website. Now let's see if I can get that tonight. There's also lots of forms and there's lots of forms that are also, if you search for graduate school forms, all of them are on the website. Right now we have a checklist, which is just a page where you just check off the different things about your dissertation. This is one of the forms that I'm hoping that will maybe just be between you and your faculty, and I won't have to collect it also, but right now it is still a required piece of paper. The dissertation defense announcement form, those were discontinued during COVID, but now that we're back, we're hoping that we can do this again. You'll submit those 3 weeks before the date of your exam. Then we have the dissertation approval form, the proposal defense form, the final defense form, and your committee approval form. And so those are all forms that need to be submitted to me after they have been approved by your faculty. I also recommend you keep a copy of these for yourself. Who knows what happens in the future? I know that between Jennifer and I, that things got misplaced, and so if you have a copy of yourself, that's great. Yes.
You say by your faculty, you mean your advisor?
Your advisor, and there's usually 2 or 3 people within your department that has to have to submit. Formatting again. The formatting is very important, and that's what I really look at. But like I said, the main things that I've seen are title pages, table content, and the spacing and the margins. And so just keep all those in mind. You want to format it correctly from the beginning, and so you don't have to go backwards. as far as submitting your dissertation, theses at the moment goes to the ETD system, and dissertations go to Proquest. There is some talk about everything moving towards to B-Press. I don't know if you, is it still up?
Yeah, actually, I can sort of
Yay.
speak to that. So, yeah, this has been an ongoing thing with the libraries. We are transitioning from the ETV system, which nobody likes.
No, I hate it.
Nobody likes that system. To a new program that's hosted on a platform called bpress. It's basically we're transitioning to what is a full-fledged, what's called an institutional repository, which will not only have theses, dissertations, but also can house faculty work, data, especially as I'm sure Roger mentioned with grants and stuff, a lot of grant requirements require you to make the data that you collect open as part of it, especially if it's a government-funded grant, which would not apply in the fourth definition. But it's a full-fledged institutional repository, and I think we are actually working now to transition everything that is currently in the ETD and migrate it, but it's going to be a while because that ETD was up and running for I think at least a decade or more, and we had stuff going back even further. So yeah, we are moving to that. I don't know what is the status of it being fully up and running and integrated into the system, but yes.
Yes.
But yes, it's a short version.
I would like it to be ready for spring. That's just me.
I think we all would.
Dissertation, so you will submit your dissertation to bpress, but then after it's all done and approved and everything, bpress will migrate it over to Proquest because that's really where you want your dissertation to be. And so then the theses will just stay in bpress. But what all that means, I don't know. So hopefully it'll go. And my experience with Proquest was it's an easy system. It's very intuitive, and I haven't had any problems. The ETD system, I have a little more. There's a few more quirks about it, but so you're submitting it to that, and then they will publish it, and you can put restrictions on it if you want to. So that you'll read it all. Questions? I thought I would just throw some just basic stuff about the website and where you find things. If you're looking for registration records or transcripts, you're going to go to memphis.edu and you're going to go to the student tab. And so if you haven't played with this, it's really, there's lots and lots of information. I have lots of students who call me and ask me questions, and it's mostly right here. So you can get your registration status, you can get your class schedule, your graduation status, you can find your transcripts, you can look at your student profile to make sure it's all up to date and correct. As part of the candidacy form, it's going to ask you for your catalog. That's on this page with your student profile. There's lots of little just informational things that are on student profile and on that first page of student tab. So a lot of students don't really recognize it's all there. That's really all I have, unless you have other things that you thought I should talk about, and I can still talk. Questions? Yes.
With the comprehensive exam, can we send that to you?
After it's all complete, yes.
Is there a form for it?
Yes, your departments have forms. Yeah, because it'll be approved and they'll have all that you passed and they'll all sign off on it. And then I just get a copy of it. I do.
Oh.
I will say while she's grabbing her card, if any of you do have problems wrestling with the annoyances that is Microsoft Word and formatting, feel free to reach out to me for help, but also along with the resources that Peggy has already pointed out, there are some links on the the DWR guide that do point to some like how-tos of formatting and how to format certain things within Microsoft Word. There are a number of sites, but I'm happy to try my best to help you. I will not promise success at times. It's been a while, but tip, section breaks in Microsoft Word are your friend. If you have to reset, like for using Chicago, you have to reset the footnote numberings at the beginning of every chapter. You want to break up the chapter using what's called a section break. So that will reset the numbering, not of the pages, unless you tell them not to, but of the footnotes and stuff. That will reset it. So section breaks are your friends. This is also how you change over from Roman numeral to Arabic numerals at the beginning of your front number, section breaks. Anyway, just thought I would pop up and say that because that is one of those really niggly annoying things with the document. And it's why I wanted to punch a monitor after my defense was doing that. So anyway, we can give you some limited assistance, but once again, our entire ethos is to show you how to do it, not to do it for you. So anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No. This is really all I have. That's your question. And you can always contact me. So just send me an email. Phone.
Okay.